If you're considering EMDR therapy and want to know exactly what it is and why so many people say it's changed their lives, well, stay tuned. I'm Julie Zubryd. I'm a licensed professional counselor, EMDR therapist, EMDRIA trained, DOBO trained. If you want to know a little bit more about what some of those things mean, read the description. But I'm going to be walking you through what EMDR is, how it works, what your role, what my role is as a client therapist. So by the end, hopefully you'll know more of what to expect and it might seem less intimidating. EMDR stands for Eye Movement Desensitization and Reprocessing. It was developed in 1987 by psychologist Dr. Francine Shapiro. She discovered by moving your eyes back and forth and thinking about a distressing memory, it seemed to reduce its emotional intensity. And since then, EMDR has become one of the most researched and effective treatments for trauma, PTSD, anxiety, and many other concerns. Originally, EMDR only used eye movements, but today we know that several forms of bilateral stimulation, or BLS, work just as well. Bilateral stimulation simply means activating both sides of the brain in a rhythmic way through eye movements, a moving light bar, alternating taps, vibrating tappers, or sounds through headphones. Therapists and clients will decide which one works best, if you want one, two, or all three. Researchers still aren't sure exactly why bilateral stimulation works, but we do know that it helps the brain start a natural healing process that at some point became interrupted during that distressful event. One of the biggest differences between EMDR and talk therapy is that we spend less time analyzing the event and talking about it and allow the brain to process it on its own. With talk therapy, we talk much slower than our brain can process on its own. When something overwhelming happens, the brain doesn't always fully process that experience, so it kind of gets stuck, almost like a computer file or a computer program that never fully finished downloading. You notice it crashes, other systems crash. So in essence, the events that happened, that distressing event in the past, your brain and body continue to experience and react as if it's happening right now. So the past becomes present. That's why certain people, places, smells, sounds, situations, and other things can trigger intense emotional reactions that seem much bigger than the current situation. The goal of EMDR is not to erase the memory. It's just to remove the emotional charge so you can remember what happened without feeling like you're reliving it. Before we begin processing, we'll identify the memory we're targeting, the image that represents it, a negative cognition or belief, and some emotions and body sensations that go along with it. For many people, those beliefs often come back to two themes: I don't matter, and I'm not good enough. EMDR helps your brain update those old beliefs with healthier, more accurate ones. Now let's talk about your job during EMDR. Don't make anything happen. Don't stop anything from happening. Your goal is to simply let whatever happens to happen. If you're noticing memories, emotions, body sensations, images, and thoughts, you're doing it right. If you're noticing almost nothing at all, you're doing right. I compare EMDR to riding on a train. You're just a passive vessel. You're sitting there as a passenger by the window, watching the scenery as it goes by. You're not driving the train or deciding where it's going. You're not even really trying to see everything outside of the window. Your brain is the conductor. It already knows where to go. If you see things, just let them happen. Sometimes they pass by, sometimes they stay. You'll notice memories from childhood. You'll notice emotions, physical sensations, thoughts, or even wonder why your brain brought up something that seems completely unrelated. You don't have to understand it. I don't have to understand it. Insight usually comes maybe after the brain has finished processing. My role as a therapist is different than what's expected. I'll help you identify the target memory, get everything set up with a protocol, and once processing starts, I'm going to remain mostly quiet. Every so often, I'll stop the BLS, the bilateral stimulation, and ask one question. What are you noticing? There is no wrong answer. Just say what you're noticing. You might say, I'm remembering something. My chest feels tight. I'm angry. I notice the color blue. I see my mom's face. Whatever you're noticing is exactly where we want your brain to stay and go. Then once you say what you notice, I'll say, go with that. Then your brain continues to take it to different places and where it needs to go. You're going to be learning grounding skills and self-regulation skills before that EMDR processing session even happens. We're going to build coping resources, breathing skills, safe spaces. One last thing to know is that processing doesn't always end when session does. Over the next days after that reprocessing session, you might notice dreams and emotions, memories, body sensations, new insights, and that's completely normal. We encourage clients to write these things down in between sessions and talk to them at the session afterwards, because the brain processes these experiences even after you're done. And it's very interesting what happens, because it's not just the memories that change, but the way you see yourself, the way you see the world, the way you see your external and internal world. If you remember nothing else from this video, remember this. You don't have to be a good EMDR client. You just have to show up. Your brain has been processing this your entire life. Everything that you're going to process in EMDR, you've already survived. You've already been through this. Your brain has been trying to heal itself this entire time. EMDR just simply helps remove the roadblocks that have been getting in the way. Trust the process, trust your brain, and simply notice what comes up. That's where the healing begins. If you have questions, feel free to reach out to me. If you like the content, please follow and subscribe. Visit my blogs on getalifecollective.com. As always, I hope you can get a reprocessed life.